Hi there, everyone. It's Rex back at you with another Common Sense Loonie. Yesterday, I had planned to drop a video about stuff like Carney's master plan, speed cameras, and other stuff. But after Charlie Kirk's news, I couldn't. Instead, I did a short tribute to Charlie and spent most of my day in a daze. Unfortunately, I haven't quite recovered yet. I'm still in a daze. This was heavy news and just unbelievable. So today's video is more about Kirk. We're going to cover the reaction in Canada, basically the good, the bad, and, well, the just plain vile. Let's get into it. So after the death of Charlie Kirk, there was plenty of reaction coming out of the US. Most of it, well, a lot of it, was respectful mourning. There were some who were just plain, I guess the most appropriate word for it is evil in their reactions. There's been plenty of coverage about that. I'm focusing on Canada. Let's start with the legacy media, and first is CTV.
College and university students I spoke with say his death raises many questions about the evolution of politics and social media in the youth culture. Charlie Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA at 18, taking conservative views and politics to American campuses and online. His videos and podcasts drew millions.
I used to see his videos, like he would go viral for his controversial takes.
Disrupted.
His sharp views on immigration, gender, and politics igniting a massive youth following in the US. And while less prominent in Canada, his videos found their way onto students' feeds. Now his sudden death prompting wide reaction.
We are supposed to live in a world where you're able to, obviously not incite violence with your views, but at least be able to speak freely, right? Have a difference of opinion, and that shouldn't lead to death.
Shit is disgusting and disturbing.
Okay, that was a pretty safe and respectful take on it. But now we go to the CBC, which is a little bit less so.
What made Charlie Kirk important? Just look at the crowd at the very rally where he was shot, the first stop in the America Comeback Tour. A sea of red and white hats, enthusiastic young men and women. This is why President Trump kept Kirk close, and some credit him with Trump's re-election win.
His message did connect with a lot of young white male voters.
Okay, I had to stop it there. Young white male voters. Of course, CBC would go and racialize the story. Kirk reached out to the young, yes. Strictly white? Absolutely not. Only male? Even in their own footage, you can see a large female presence. More spin from CBC. Let's try to watch a little bit more of this.
And here was Kirk the moment he learned Trump had been reelected.
And no one has worked harder than Charlie for this.
I am just humbled by God.
El Hardy is a journalist who covers the religious right.
He certainly was always a conservative. He grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. He went to church.
Greetings and welcome back,
As a young man, he tuned in to right-wing talk radio star Rush Limbaugh. At 18, he co-founded Turning Point USA, a conservative youth organization. In 2016, he became the youngest person to ever speak at a Republican convention. As the popularity of Turning Point grew, so did his influence. Like Trump, Kirk understood the importance of entertaining the crowd.
So it is, bursts of music, rallying people up with, very, at times, vicious political rhetoric.
Okay, who are these experts and what are they talking about? Vicious political rhetoric? CBC is really spinning this. His style was energetic, entertaining, and truth-telling. The only viciousness at any of his events came from the people that didn't like what he was saying. Let's try to watch a little bit more of this garbage before I just shut it off.
But also having fun. Understanding that for a lot of people, politics is becoming a form of entertainment.
And that is something Kirk keyed into.
He's just such a fascinating person, and since you really don't get to see very many Republicans in the media.
This actually brings me so much joy because I felt so isolated in how I thought.
He had a really big audience. His podcasts would get 500,000 or 750,000 people every day I saw. And he was connecting with young voters,
which played a critical role in the election.
You're talking about a lot of people who are undecided, who are, open to persuasion, unlike older voters.
Connecting with audiences while ramping up the rhetoric.
He was a denier of a lot of truthful things. He was an anti-vaxer.
All right, that's it. Denier of a lot of truthful things? Anti-vaxxer? Give me a break. Who decides CBC's truth? His strongest stance was about his faith in God. Is CBC saying Christianity is a lie? There's a lot of people worldwide that would disagree with you there. As for Vax, he was against misinformation and mandates, not medical science. Okay, I can't get through this garbage piece. If it's online, if you really want to see their left-wing nuttery in full, you can find it. Let's move on. There's a story I've been seeing about a Toronto man being falsely accused of shooting Kirk. Unfortunately, my only video source comes from the CBC. Let's see if we can stomach their spin on this.
Suddenly my name is out there in the worst of circumstances. You don't know what the repercussions may be.
Since he's retired from a long banking career, Michael Mallinson's life has been filled with rowing, gardening, and as of Wednesday, being wrongly accused of murder. When conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed in broad daylight and a manhunt for the killer ensued, people on social media did what they do best, sharing their theories, whether true or not.
Woke up from having a nap. We'd had a very busy day yesterday, and we received a phone call from my youngest daughter, Zandra, and she was telling me in a bit of a panicked way that I had to delete all my social media accounts.
This happened after a video was uploaded of a man who was briefly detained at the shooting scene. Michael's only crime was bearing a slight resemblance to him. Suddenly, people were sharing Mallinson's photo on social media, identifying him as a Democrat from Utah who shot Kirk.
I hadn't heard of the shooting, and I've never heard of Charlie Kirk, so this was just shock and horror.
It appears the now-deleted post originated from a fake Fox News affiliate account and spread like wildfire from there.
Okay, well, not much to say there. I hope nothing more comes out of that story. Here's one I found from the National Post about the Parti Québécois, the PQ. Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, the leader of Quebec's Parti Québécois, was in Alberta at the time of Kirk's murder, talking to folks at University of Calgary. He kicked off his speech by bringing it up, saying it was a wake-up call. He pointed out how important it is to be able to stand in a room full of people who disagree with you and still have a respectful chat. But Plamondon went deeper. He said, we need to face it. There's a real problem here. Social media is messing with how we talk to each other. It lets people twist facts to fit their own views, and then anyone who sees things differently turns into the enemy. Back in the day, he started this group to get young people debating politics face-to-face without all the online noise. He even tied it to schools and universities. If we're not chasing the truth anymore, if we think it doesn't matter or doesn't exist, how can we keep things civil? It just doesn't work. I gotta say, I can't disagree with him. So what about other politicians? Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre was quick to post on social media, political violence is never justified. The attacker must be brought to justice, and free speech must be upheld. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith echoed that, saying she's saddened and horrified, and added political violence has no place in a free and democratic society and must be condemned without reservation. Okay, then there's Liberal MP Anthony Housefather, who decided to go down the low road and basically painted Kirk as the instigator. I hope that those on this and other platforms that repeatedly personally attack people and incite hate against them look at this and see the potential real-life consequences of targeted hateful rhetoric. What a dunce! I'll bet money he's never watched anything Charlie did. Debate is not a personal attack, dummy. Me calling you dummy is a personal attack. Now, the next one's probably going to make you more angry. Meet Devon Cassidy, a so-called social worker who cheered Charlie Kirk's brutal assassination.
Charlie Kirk got shot and he's dead! Finally, somebody with a gun, which is almost everybody in the fucking States, grew a pair and fucking went and shot somebody on the right side. Thank you. Can we keep this up, please?
Thank God Legal Aid BC cut her loose. She's out, jobless, and exposed. Imagine working with this monster. Pure nightmare. Good riddance. And last but not least, Rachel Gilmore spews nonsense for attention, gets it, then plays victim, making the news all about her. Boo freaking who. Well, Rachel's back to playing the victim card like it's her full-time job.
And we have Canadian political leaders putting the target on my back for pointing this out, for pointing out that this could absolutely fan the flames of political violence, which is an outcome none of us want, but is one that I just proved many are trying to make a reality.
Rachel Gilmore can't seem to stay out of controversy and always ends up crying foul when people call her out. As soon as the news drops, what does Gilmore do? She hops onto Instagram and posts something along the lines of, But don't act like there's a loss in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, real classy. Mocking a guy's death right after it happens, calling him far right and basically implying the world's better off without him. But as soon as the backlash hits, people slamming her for being insensitive and even listing her on sites tracking folks who allegedly celebrated his death, she locks her X account, makes it protected so no one can see her posts, and starts whining about being officially scared.
I said I was terrified to think of how far-right fans of Kirk, aching for more violence, could very well turn this into an even more radicalizing moment. Will they now believe their fears have been proven right and feel they have a right to retaliate regardless of who actually was behind the initial shooting? That analysis came from the fact that I am an experienced journalist who has extensively covered right-wing extremism. That's also why, by the way, a lot of people hate me and want to shut me up.
She says she's getting death threats, which is awful, and no one deserves that. But come on. She turns around and writes on her Substack about how terrifying it is that far-right groups might use this to fan more violence. Before she locked her account, I actually commented to her. I said that Gilmore is actually the one that fans hate with her misinformation. About 10 minutes after that, I was locked out. Oh well. It's like she's making Kirk's murder all about her fears and her victimhood, instead of just owning up to her bad take. This is not new for Gilmore. It's a pattern. She's got a history of biased, misinformative reporting that targets conservatives. Then she acts shocked when there's pushback. Remember the 2022 Freedom Convoy in Canada? She reported unverified stuff like protesters taping up handles to trap people based on anonymous tips and TikToks, which got her labeled conspiracy spreader herself. That led to harassment, sure, but she milked it as victimhood. Then there was her article calling retired vet James Topp a white supremacist just because he chatted with some sketchy guy once, ignoring context and leading to a defamation lawsuit.
I have to address a claim made by Global News in their latest article called "Good PR Why Anti-Hate Experts Are Urging Politicians to Step Up Vetting Practices" by Miss Rachel Gilmore. Now, the problem with this article is the actual hyperlink to the article says James Topp, white supremacists, far right. So I take issue with this. This is straight up defamation, and I intend to pursue some kind of criminal and legal action.
Again, backlash, and she's the victim. Fast forward to this year. She gets a gig fact-checking on CTV's morning show, does one episode debunking stuff about the PM, and boom, complaints from the right, network chaos from the distraction, and her segment's cancelled after one go. She releases audio of the call letting her go and then cries about press freedom.
This is the real impact of the harassment that I have to deal with. After CTV Your Morning announced that I would be joining them every Friday of the campaign to do a fact check, a bunch of bad faith right-wingers who hate me for no other reason than I have reported accurately on the things that people they agree with politically have said and done. And yesterday, CTV called me and informed me that I've lost this career opportunity. Because I was worried that they were going to be spineless, I recorded the phone call.
Every time, sloppy or slandered reporting, people push back hard, and then she plays the persecuted hero. Look, journalism's tough, and threats are never okay. But Gilmore's cycle of stirring the pot with one-sided takes, then hiding behind the victim label when it blows up, it's a joke. If she wants respect, maybe try balanced reporting instead of this drama loop. I want to finish off today with Brian Lilley of the Toronto Sun. I think his whole take on this climate is the best. So we'll leave you with that. We'll get back to regular news tomorrow. Stay strong, everyone.
We can't reduce it to, oh, this side, that side. Violence is coming from all sides. Let's be honest about that. But the Canadian professor that he mentioned, her office is blocks from where I'm sitting right now. I'm at Queen's Park at my office, and she said that shooting is too good for you fascists, and then used an expletive.
Yeah, we're showing her tweet right now.
Yeah. Just days before, she had posted on X that Post Media needed to be shut down because we're fascists. So if Post Media is fascists, and shooting's too good for fascists, what should I be concerned about with my office being mere blocks from her in an area where I walk my dog several times a week? This is a professor of religion advocating for people to be shot. There's no other way to interpret that. Shooting is too good for you fascists, and by the way, here's the fascists. Go shoot them. We shouldn't be at this point. There's an old saying that I got from Phelan McAleer, who was behind a number of documentaries from the conservative side. He said, they're not evil, they're just wrong. And remember that. You know, you don't hate the person that you're opposed to politically. They can be wrong to you. You can have a different point of view, but don't make them out to be evil. We have made folks out to be evil. And Charlie Kirk is being made out to be evil.
I'm here to cut through the haze, no disguise. Gonna open your eyes to politicians' lies. Canada's great, but led by wackos, it's true. Time for no nonsense, me and you. I'm the Common Sense Loonie, hear my call. Ditch bingo night games, we'll fix it all. Common Sense Loonie, that's my tune. Bringing truth to the red and white moon.
Personally, I am a man.